staple is ham and cheese then.
Right.
Scott, one of the many things that discouraged businesses in the last several years was the combined reporting legislation that was enacted in the last within the last year. And it was ironic that some of our local legislatures, Senator Kathleen Bynow referred to, once the legislation was passed, referred to finally these freeloaders are going to pay their fair share. So it's the constant look at businesses as being the enemy rather than a solution to the problem. What are, you like to list things in terms of top 3 or top 4. What were the top 3 things that you would do to attract businesses, not to attract businesses to come to Wisconsin, but more importantly to encourage businesses to stay here and continue to grow?
Cut taxes, cut regulations, limit the cost of litigation. Boom, 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 right in that order. And I think you hit the nail on the head. While I'll take any business that wants to come in here, the majority of growth that's going to come out of that 250,000 jobs is not new companies coming in. It's not even big companies coming in. It's existing businesses in this state feeling comfortable and affordable enough to be able to expand the number of jobs they currently have. That's 5, 10, 15, 25 jobs at a time, here, there, and everywhere. And there are plenty of examples, not on the small business level, but I'd say at the mid-sized level. I was in Wausau a week or two ago talking to a guy who runs a factory over there that makes fans. They want to add 120 jobs. But their headquarters are in Wausau, but they have a plant, 2 other plants in the south. He said, I can't justify mathematically adding those jobs here in Wisconsin. He said, but we're going to wait until the election. If you're in, we're going to give you a shot to turn our mind around and allow us to add them here. There are plenty of people hurt, both individuals and companies, but there's also a lot of employers out there that are doing okay. They're not doing great, but they're doing okay. And they'd like to put more people to work. But they're just scared to death that the government's going to do more to screw them up. And what you allude to with combined reporting is a great example of the overall issue. Combined reporting affects maybe 12 to 13% of the businesses in the state. So there are other things they did, the income tax. In fact, they raised the individual income tax thinking it went after wealthy people, not understanding that the vast majority of businesses in the state don't pay corporate income tax. They pay individual income tax. And so when you raise that tax, you hurt employers on small and mid-sized businesses. But combined reporting, people don't know, combined reporting was a change that said if you have a company that has interest in other states, you have to pay at the higher level of Wisconsin. Now, just to think about that in fairness, where she was wrong on it, implying that suddenly they're getting a break, these companies pay Wisconsin taxes on the products they make in Wisconsin with employees that are working in Wisconsin. But a company like Harley Davidson, I mentioned I ride a Road King, so I stop a lot here at the dealership. Harley Davidson has businesses in York, Pennsylvania. They got a plant. They have business elsewhere. They've got places in Tomahawk and Wauwatosa, where I live in Milwaukee. In all the places in Wisconsin, they pay taxes at the same level as everybody else does. But in those other states, if they happen to be fortunate enough to be in a state that's got a lower tax rate, they pay the lower taxes. This is now saying they got to pay up to the Wisconsin level. You know how much that cost Harley Davidson? $22.5 million.
Good grief.
You know what happened right after that law changed last year? Harley Davidson laid off 480 workers. Not executives, not the top officials, 480 frontline workers. You can't tell me that raising taxes doesn't have a devastating impact on jobs. And that's, it's one of many examples. When you go down the way to Centurytel and Lacrosse, they're a company with 900 people right on the riverfront that gets nicked by combined reporting. Go up to Superior, up 53, and go to Murphy Oil, and between the oil franchise tax and combined reporting, that cost them $2 million more per year. They were set to do a $6 billion expansion at Murphy Oil. 1,000 construction jobs, 350 permanent jobs. They backed out, in part because of the economy, but also because of Jim Doyle's proposed tax increases in those areas. There is example after example after example across this state. We got to stop that. I think that, too, it just shows you how to touch businesses. And I remember years ago when I served in the legislature, remember down the way in Arcadia, when Ashley Furniture wanted to expand, and they were going to go into a little bit of wetlands, and they said, we'll replace it with about twice as much wetland space. And the DNR wouldn't let them do it, so they expanded somewhere else. I said, that's insane. That is absolutely insane. We should be bending over backwards to say, if you're an employer, big or small, you want to add jobs in this state, we're going to find a way to make it happen. And in the case of the wetlands, I'm not saying devastate, I I actually go bow hunting now. I started last year, but I've been gun hunting for years. I like natural resources. That's an asset. Tourism, hunting, that's our heritage. So I don't want to see our wildlife messed up. But in this case, we can balance the two. You don't have to have protecting the environment be at the expense of protecting our economy. The two have to go hand in hand. We've got to fundamentally have a state that turns it around. That's why lowering the tax burden, easing the regulatory burden, reducing the litigation burden, those are the big three, I'd say, that get the state working. Sure.
But I also, God bless you, once you're a governor, I don't want you, Kathleen Vinehout, or Jeff Smith dictating my health care either.
Right.
So as governor, and I expect that we will retake both houses in the state, and you will have the people you need to get this job. But we can expect that the Democrats will continue to grow. Would you also fight back against, like Healthy Wisconsin, which we had to overcome already in this state?
Yeah, no doubt about it. In fact, if you go, we've got all sorts of websites for wonder technology these days, but besides scottwalker.org, we've got something simply called 250,000jobs.org, 250,000jobs.org. And it lists those 6 points. One of them is on health care, which is why I'd like to have the right to address health care in this state. The problem I hear about health care from people, whether it's employers or families or others, is less about access and more about cost. It's cost for small employers. Saying we can't afford to provide the kind of health care plan we want for our employees. So our answer is to work with the market-driven solutions and not government mandates. To that extent, there are things, even simple things we can do right off the bat, and they're holding it up. Right now, Wisconsin is one of, I think, 4 states that still taxes health savings accounts. If you could have something like a flex account, whether you're a small business, whether you're a family farm, there's so many people who could tap into that where you take tax-free amount of money, you set it aside for health care, you take a little bit of that and you buy a catastrophic plan for the worst, but in most cases you use that, you pay for it as you go, and at the end of the year, if you didn't use it all, that's an incentive to wisely use your money, because then you capture them, just like you do with a flex account for a lot of employers. That would be a tremendous asset, particularly for small businesses and farms in the state. In addition, I was talking to NFIB this morning. I think having the state play a partnership role in helping small businesses tap into a larger purchasing pool for healthcare would be a great deal. One of the big problems for small businesses is that if you've got a small pool of employees and one person gets sick, your premiums go through the roof, because that's how the insurer shares it. If you get into a larger pool, the more you're in with, the easier it is to share that risk and the lower your premiums are. The other big thing is I believe in disclosure. Some people call it transparency. But to the extent that you can know, not just procedure by procedure, but provider by provider, what the true costs are. When you're having a heart attack, you're not going to make a decision as to which place to go. But if you're doing an elective procedure, you might decide that a clinic versus a hospital or vice versa is a better place to go because it's more cost effective. And if you've got these health savings accounts, it will give you the option to do that. I think anything that allows us to have, as patients, myself included, more skin in the game to better manage our health care, that's where you really get health care costs under control. But they're talking about Washington. That does nothing for health care costs. Like, if anything, it exacerbates. You've got to have, all of us have some skin in the game. My wife is a type 1 diabetic. In fact,